All right, everyone, welcome back. So one thing I wanted to share with you actually is something that I've been reviewing pretty much for the past 2, 3 months on my own, and something that I really think would be beneficial to you all, especially people who are newer in the system and trying to figure out how to use this for self-help. So for those of you who are in the objective personality system, and especially if you have your type, there's a lot of moving parts, right? There's, you have the animals, you have the functions, you have the letters, you have the temperaments, the modalities, you have all this stuff that you need to keep track of. And then on top of that, you have your saviors and your demons, right? And, sometimes you know when you're doing your demons and sometimes you just don't, right? And so how do you deal with all that complexity? Well, for me, one thing that I've definitely been doing is I pretty much created a checklist for myself, like pretty much just to warn me what my demons are. So what I did was I took the definitions from various places, but primarily the beginner series that Dave and Shan have, as well as a few definitions from the type of tool itself, right? Especially if you go to, for example, if you go to play last in the type of tool, they'll share with you what their like one sentence summary of sleep is double activated, and they'll do the same thing with all the other coins, right? So sleep last, they'll have a double activated definition for play, which I think is very concise. So I made a definition list like that. And then basically all I did was I created a checklist with just my demons on there. So, obviously, as you can see, half of the board is completely missing because, I don't really need to know what I'm doing with my saviors. The whole point is for me to get rid of those addictions, right? Or to balance out those addictions. So for me, it would look like, so sleep, stopping and going over known information, learning via repetition, doing things related to significance and identity. And I do have kind of a definition for identity based on some stuff I read from James Clear. And then same thing all the way down, feeling, masculine DI, blast, OI, sensory, and everything like that. So that's the first thing I'd recommend. I would recommend, and I guess one thing I need to emphasize as well is that a lot of people, when it comes to objective personality, even if they buy into the system, they overcomplicate the hell out of self-growth. They're like, well, I don't know if I'm doing sleep or not, and how can I ever be sure? And like, honestly, just do what's on the piece of paper, right? So for example, let's go to Blast because it's pretty easy. So Blast is defined as sharing and teaching known information. So whenever you're doing that, you're doing Blast. Even if you might feel scattered, even if it feels muddled, even if it feels like play or whatever other subjective thing you have in your head, anytime you're sharing known information, that's Blast. Done. Just don't fucking think about it anymore and just keep putting in the hours of practicing according to that definition. And what's been happening in my experience, and I've said this multiple times, is as I specifically do sleep related stuff, meaning as I stop and go over known information, I have been, not only has my life subjectively felt better, just like it's just happier, but also I genuinely, like legitimately am getting compliments randomly from random people, right? Saying, hey, wow, like, I'm really happy for you and all this stuff. And again, I'm Savior DE. I appreciate the validation. It tells me I'm on the right track, but like seriously, like it's not something I'm going out and trying to do. So this is something I would highly recommend. And then once you especially once you know your last animal, I highly recommend just hammering all of your attention on practicing that, right? Put in as much effort as you can to practicing it according to the definition and do not overcomplicate the definition. Even if it feels scattered, anytime you're going over known information, you're doing sleep, right? Even if it feels scattered and you're bad at it. Anytime you're sharing known information, you're doing Blast, even if you feel like you're doing it wrong, right? And so on and so forth. I think for the other ones, if you're getting things done while learning from the tribe, that's play, okay? That's it. You don't have, even if it feels weird, even if you're awkward while doing it, that's play. And then finally with consume, I think if I'm not mistaken, it's researching things that you're interested in or learning more information about things you're interested in. That's consume, and that's it, right? You don't have to overcomplicate it. It can be bad, it can be weird, it can be something that people laugh at, it can feel wrong, but as long as it's what is defined objectively on this piece of paper, just fucking do it, right? Just stop overthinking the shit. So that's it. Like I'm gonna I don't know what to say. That's my recommendations for this. And hopefully you guys can start putting in the hours, because I truly believe that to the degree that you put in the hours, your life is just gonna improve exponentially, right? And I'll continue hammering on that. So that's it. Hope you guys are having a great week, and I will see you guys soon. Take care.